Hey buds, happy February. You feel that? That's spring. She's almost here. The other day I could actually smell flowers while I was up at uni, and I also saw some ready to bloom daffodils. She's so close. University is kind of frying my brain, and I just wanted to make a nice video where I talk about pleasant things as a break from reading heavy sociological theory and weeping. I love to learn. So I've made a list of things that help me get through January. So to begin with, dungarees. When I have early mornings and I just want to throw something on, dungarees are perfect. They're comfy, they're cash, they're the exact brand of like local farmers market chic that I'm aspiring to. They're from a company called Lucy and Yak, who actually visit the factories that they use to ensure good standards. They also send everything out in biodegradable packaging, so no tags or anything that you have to throw away. And you also get these really cute little fabric bags every time, which I love. If I had one complaint, it's that I would really like to wear yellow under these ones, but Minions have ruined that for all of us, which I'm really bitter about. But I got these for Christmas and I am just obsessed with them. Like, partly they make choosing an outfit in the morning really easy because you can't go wrong with dungarees, but also just the sheer amount of storage that's become available to me. It's life-changing. Food and cooking have been big in helping me get through this month. To start with, making these incredible dairy-free cookies. I always need to have something chocolate-based in the house, and this feels like a fairly cost-effective solution to my demands. When I'm stressed, I really like to cook, and these are really easy because they don't require any fancy vegan substitutes, nor do they try and make me eat like pure lumps of coconut oil, which I'm not really into. And I'll put the recipe in the description. Also, on the theme of food, I love Jack Monroe, who became famous as a cook for making really cost-effective recipes. And she's recently been doing a lot of vegan and vegetarian versions of those. I'd been using her Vegan on a Bootstrap website a lot for inspiration, and having recently made the ultimate lasagna recipe that's on there, I can confirm 100% the best ever vegan or vegetarian lasagna I've ever had. Also, not as much of an endless faff to make as other lasagnas, and really delicious and hearty. She has such a non-judgmental and easygoing way of writing recipes. You can tell they're really made for use and everyday cooking, which I love. Love you, Jack. Ruby Tando also just released a book called Eat Up, about eating what you want and eating free from shame, which I love. Cooking brings me so much joy and peace when I'm really hyped up and jittery after doing something like transcribing a 10,000 word interview for my dissertation. Cooking is so therapeutic. I love doing something with my hands, and I also love eating. The only thing getting me through a lot of my days in the library at the moment is knowing I can come home and have a cup of tea and at least 3 cookies. I also can't recommend enough having a hobby that's really practical, because I'll be cooking and I'm like, oh, this is creative and I'm learning and it's really fulfilling, but at the same time I've made lunches for all of next week and I've eaten more bean-based dishes than I knew was possible. I've been working on going to bed and getting up earlier over the last month, and something I didn't expect to help me through January but that really did is Friends going on Netflix. Because it turns out watching Friends is my own personal off switch. Like, put me in a bed, pop on an episode of Friends, and I will zonk out in minutes. You know, I knew that watching Friends back to back endlessly as a teenager would have benefits, and here we are. I found my snooze button. Audiobooks were also great last month when I was leaving the house every day to spend all of my day in the student union writing essays. I read Hunger by Roxane Gay in January, which was not always the most easy read. Although listening to the audiobook, Roxane Gay has the most beautiful and engaging voice, which was lovely. It details her trauma after being sexually assaulted as a child and her feelings about her body, both academically and personally. And whilst it was certainly like difficult to listen to at times, I felt very lucky to be able to carry around her voice with me. She's very wise and thoughtful and also funny. I love Roxane Gay. And then I listened to Big Little Lies, and being transported into these really clear depictions of these 3 women's lives was the best way to spend like an hour and a half a day on public transport, and also to not spend that time looking at my phone, because if you look at your phone you miss what's being said, and I hate looking at my phone, so it's a really good deterrent. And I didn't want to miss what was being said, because everything that happened I was like, gasp, gasp. It made me think I should read more thrillers and mystery dramas, because I love twists. Disney soundtracks massively helped me get through January, especially Almost There from Princess and the Frog. I'm personally against to the celebration of like the grind, because way to internalize toxic ideas about our culture and your own worth. But when I was struggling to get through something, Tiana was like my inspiration. Also listening to Touch the Sky from Brave when I'm penned indoors and therefore at my weakest. Just like whilst my body might be trapped in a windowless grey room, my soul is riding horseback, shooting arrows through the Scottish countryside. January was also a great month for houseplants. I'm getting much better at understanding what is actually going to survive in my flat. And if you're looking for something low maintenance, snake plants are my babies. They need almost no attention, are fine apparently with inconsistent temperatures and only semi-regular watering, and doesn't seem to mind a total lack of direct sunlight. Also, this little guy who looks really sorry for themselves, actually throughout the day, like, the leaves will lift and curl up and drop again in response to sunlight. I see it like twitching occasionally. They say not to store it in your room because it will spook you. And I really enjoy watching her just do her thing. When it's so cold and feels like such an eternal winter, having houseplants really makes me feel like it might one day be sunny again. Like, between these, the Moana soundtrack and vitamin D supplements, I can almost believe I'm somewhere tropical. And my final January survival product has been the damaged hot oil treatment from Lush. These come on a little stick and you melt them down like hot chocolate, and you can make them quite diluted, so I get like 2-ish uses out of this. I've been doing a lot of throwing my hair up in a bun for a week at a time. Apparently when I'm busy, hair washing like is first to go. And I've also been swimming a little bit, so my hair hasn't loved me. So doing a hair mask feels amazing because it is really oily and nourishing. I don't feel like I have to sleep in it, which can be a bit of an ordeal. And it smells like vanilla, which is very soothing. And you know, sometimes when you've been typing like this for 3 hours, soothing's great. My favourite thing to do is chillax. I'm never happier than when I'm chillaxing, and January I didn't get to do a whole bunch of that, whereas me, and I don't sense that there'll be a great deal of it for my time as a third-year student, which is fine. But yeah, these things sort of help carry me through that as someone who would ideally be doing almost none of the things I'm doing. And during this difficult time, I do reserve the right to make favourites videos rather than hard-hitting content, if I so please. But I would love to hear what helped / is helping you guys through the winter, and I will see you again soon.